Welcome back to a very special episode of Let's Talk Broncos. I'm Bree Maestas here with Zach Seegers and Joey Richards. Guys, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm looking forward to this episode. We have some Broncos friends, family, I would call them at this point with Let's Talk Broncos, coming down to break some plays down for us. I'm not going to give any spoilers on who it is, but you'll have to wait and see some Broncos favorites, some Broncos absolute favorites, some guys that I co-sign that I think everybody here co-signs like with a best, and I'm just happy to have them like even be a part of this podcast at all. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this because just adding on and reviewing their plays, reacting to it.
Yeah, hopping in the LTB film room today. Got some great minds break down some plays, and we'll all learn some together. And then after they break it down for us, we'll all talk about the Broncos offense and defense. So excited about that. Excited to be talking with you guys. And it's a great day because I got my Aaron Rodgers signable. Let's go.
Oh my goodness. Without further ado, let's jump into what went right with the offense and the defense from Sunday's game against the Titans. First off, we're going to go defense, and it is the very own Frankie's Films to break it down for us all.
Hey guys, what's going on? Frankie's Film here. Today I'm going to be breaking down a sweet little five-man pressure Ejiro Evero cooked up against the Titans. Evero's done a remarkable job this season generating pressure, creating one-on-ones for his pass rushers, and after the departure of Bradley Chubb, he amplified that creativity on Sunday. 3rd and 7 against Tennessee in a tight 2x2 set, Evero deployed Denver's dollar personnel with 3 down linemen, 2 backers, and 6 DBs, and showed immense A-gap pressure with Josie Jewell, Isang Bassi, and Nick Bonito. Upon the snap, all 3 dropped into a soft cover 2 and Damari Mathis and K1 blitzed off tackle. This widened both OTs and created one-on-ones across the interior and confusion along the Tennessee front. Draymond Jones eventually worked through this confusion and laid a wallop on Tannehill, who to his credit made a smart read with an accurate pass, but Robert Woods couldn't haul in the ball, and instead we see a Titans punt.
Man, that was awesome. Yeah, for Frankie really broke down that play. It's to me is just like, and we kind of broke this down. So Robby's last week's defensive play was how the Broncos brought 5 guys on the line, or like brought 5 people to get after, to either stop the run or get after the pass. But his was more at how the Broncos can stop Derrick Henry. This one is a great example of how the Broncos use that to pass rush, right? Bringing 2 cornerbacks on that to ultimately do the same thing. You're bringing 5, they have 5 offensive linemen. It singles up people. It allows them to get singles across the board, makes the job easier on everybody across the defensive line. And while I'm on it, I guess, hey guys, pay Draymond Jones. You saw it right there, right? Draymond Jones, when he singled up, he's one of the best interior pass rushers you could hope for. And when you don't have to worry about like other people coming to chip him. Like when he has a single guy on him, he's going to make problems for people. Draymond Jones absolutely lit up Tannehill on that play. And yeah, thanks Frankie for breaking that down, man. That was an awesome example and a very creative play Evero ran in that game.
Yeah, I mean, the number one thing there is it's a great demonstration of how Evero, and we had, like you said, more of that last week from Robby. It's a great demonstration of how Evero is isolating these one-on-one matchups along that defensive front. And that's been, I don't know, Evero's special sauce this year. It's the Fangio defense with isolated matchups up front. And that's a dream combo. I absolutely love it. So yeah, getting to see that's really cool. I love the creative pressure looks. I think you saw Bonito there dropping and maybe didn't quite close that window tight enough. I don't want people going, oh, well, it should have been a completion or whatever in a big play. Because yes, that's true, but it's beautifully drawn up. It's beautiful execution. And shoot, I had another point, but Joey, take it away, and then I'll get back to us.
Yeah, I just wanted to point out, Zach, you said it. This is the type of creative stuff you can do with Bonito as well. He is a edge rusher, right, that can really get after the quarterback well. But he's more of an edge, like pass rusher, inside linebacker hybrid. He's an interesting player like that. You feel comfortable with Bonito dropping back more than most edge rushers, I would say. That was a big. What'd you say?
He and Barron both.
Him and Baron Browning both. Baron Browning, obviously, inside linebacker this year, edge this year. But this is the type of creative stuff you can do on third down when you have these guys that can drop back. You can open things up and get really creative with them. And we're honestly, I mean, I'm happy to have a defensive coordinator like Evero to deploy that, because Benito really, like, with his quickness, his agility, and just his overall movement skills, and that goes for Browning as well. Like, you trust them in open field. So yeah, that was a very interesting play, and it is interesting note as well that both the Broncos edge rushers, or a lot of the Broncos edge rushers, the two big guys they added to that room, Baron Browning and Nick Benito, can both drop and play in coverage and play in space. Two unique qualities that I would say not a lot at all, like, edge rushers really can do effectively.
Absolutely. And going back to the design of the play and the creativity, I refound my train of thought. I think that's so valuable in a defense, because so much, like, the rules just help the offense out so much now. And so you just have to make things a little difficult. You have to buy in those offensive stutters, those pauses from the quarterback. The fastest outside of Tom Brady, because, like, he's playing his own sport. It's his style of quarterbacking is an extreme outlier on one end, and Fields is an extreme outlier on the other. But if you take quarterback 31 and quarterback 2, you remove the two outliers and you look at what's between them, the average time to throw is between 2.4 seconds on the fastest end and 2.45 on the fastest end, and 3.16 on the slowest end. So a really, like, just a window of 0.7 seconds between the fastest and the slowest. And even then, that's at the absolute slowest, you're talking about 3.1 seconds is time from snap to throw. If you can make the quarterback for half a second go, oh shit, it's K1 and I forget who the other corner in that play was, but it's K1 and Surtain, or K1 and whoever coming at me, instead of Barron and Benito, and those guys are dropping out into coverage. That half second that takes is a quarter of the, like, that's 25% of the way there for the pass rush. It gets the job done. And then you actually have to process through the play and get to the right read and everything. So yeah, you're seeing it more and more with these simulated pressures. It allows you to keep all those assets in coverage. And that's what this is. You're not really bringing a blitz. You're still bringing either 4 or 5. And I know 5's technically a blitz, but you're bringing a lower number of pass rushers. But you're just bringing them from different unexpected places. And it's a great way to manufacture pressure, and something Ejiro Evero has been on the cutting edge of league-wide. Last year was the Titans leading the NFL in it. Everyone went, wow, that shit's cool. Let's pick that up. Let's incorporate it into our defense. And Evero has been the most aggressive innovator and adopter of that idea, and it's gone brilliantly. It makes me love Ejiro Evero. My number one wish maybe for this Broncos offense might be keeping him around, because I don't know if a new offensive coach is fixing the offense necessarily. Walton Penner Group, if this man doesn't get a head coaching job, he better be your defensive coordinator next year. You've got the fucking money to make everyone okay with it.
Yeah, absolutely. I was enamored by watching this play breakdown. So if you were as well, you need to go over and follow Frankie's film over on Twitter. Frankie Abbott is a tremendous addition here to the Let's Talk Broncos crew, and we'll cue you into where else you can find him here with Joey Richards.
Yes. Listen tomorrow, guys. Tomorrow. It's the debut episode. Frankie Abbott, you just saw him break down that play. It was amazing. Like, he does a terrific job. Tomorrow, he will be my co-host, part of the Draft podcast. We will be breaking down all things draft exclusively on the Let's Talk Broncos Facebook, the Let's Talk Broncos YouTube, and the Let's Talk Broncos Twitter. You need to be following us on those socials to be a part of it. I mean, and who wouldn't want to go listen to Frankie? You just heard it. Everybody would.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll jump on over to the other side of the ball, and we have another special contributor joining us for this one as we break down the Denver Broncos offense from Sunday. Take a look.
What's going on, you beautiful people? Today we will be talking about, unfortunately, we'll be talking about the many miscues that the Denver Broncos had on offense against the Tennessee Titans. First play here, they're in an empty set on 3rd and long, and they're trying to work a simple under corner combination that they hit earlier in the game to Hinton on a big play, and they're trying to just get right back to it. They're in empty here again on 3rd and long, and they're facing a clear, I mean, this is as clear as you're going to get. Clear 0 look. Everybody on the line of scrimmage, no safety in the back. I mean, you know obviously what you're getting here. And my issue with this play is, you'll see it play out here almost immediately. Where is Russ supposed to go at the top of his drop? Against 0. So I mean, maybe he could get it to Sutton here as soon as he gets to the top of his drop. But I mean, look at the backfield already. Someone right in his face. Where's the hot route? I mean, you could potentially say that Edmonds working the chip and release would be the hot route. And I'm assuming on a situation like that, Edmonds would probably just, make a call and nix the chip and release and just get straight out to the swing route against 0, which probably would be ideal. But that's not what happens here. How, as a play caller, do you install a play against 0 without a hot option for your quarterback? I mean, look at here. Edmonds is on the end of the line of scrimmage on the chip and release. Okay, fine. Against 0 and empty, cool. But once he chips here and he gets out, by the time he gets out, Russ is already on the ground. I mean, he's turning around when Russ is getting back up. I can't wrap my head around it. So moving on to the second play here, and this is one that is just especially frustrating for everybody involved. They're trying to attack the Titans' quarter shell, and they're doing it in probably my favorite way. They're trying to work a heat concept. Now, a heat concept is just going to be a deep curl from the lone X, and then it's going to be a deep over from Dulcich over there. This is a play that you can go back to Hackett's time in Green Bay and see when Alan Lazard, caught that long touchdown against the Saints. This is the exact concept that it was on. So it works perfectly here. You can see it play out. The boundary safety creeps up to take away the curl. Nobody behind them to take the over. You can see it right here. Dulcich has one-on-one with the safety, and the safety has his hips squared to Dulcich, and Dulcich is just going to run straight by him. I mean, this works out perfectly. You can't draw it up any better than this, and Russ just misses him. Wide open, going to be a walk-in touchdown, and he misses him. That's just so frustrating for everybody, and including Russ. Moving on to the final play here, and this is just a crucial play that the Broncos have to have. And I mean, to be honest, not holding any blows, this is just day one QB stuff. So they're in 3-by-1 on a 3rd and long, start of the 4th quarter, down by 3. Again, 3-by-1, Titans check the 2-man to counter it. They're working the same concept that they've worked so many times in this game before. I mean, they've called it at least once a quarter. The same concept that they called in the first clip we broke down, calling it again. Under, corner. And again, they're getting 2-man here. This ball has to go to the under route at the top of the drop. Has to. We'll get to the top of the drop here. Has to be here. I mean, look at the room that'll be there if the ball is on time and on schedule. That's what the footwork is tied to. When they install this play, the footwork of the play is synced to the break in the under route. Look at all the space here. He easily gets the first. Easily. Instead, Russ is spooked by, there was an unblocked rusher, but he wasn't unblocked. Gordon actually did a very, very good job at coming across the formation to take away the blitzer. I mean, you can't really ask for any better of pass protection from your running back. The ball has to go to that under. I mean, look, Gordon comes across and he cuts him. The ball has to go to that under.
I was enthralllled as I really did watching that.
I'm about to pull my hair out. Robbie just
Bangers.
invoked so much like emotion out of me on there. This is what I'm talking about, people, when I say there's so much going wrong with the Broncos offense. Is unbelievable. Like, it's not just one guy. Robbie broke this down perfect. We have coaching on that first play, right? Where it's like, why don't we have a hot route in zero and they're bringing the blitz? It's third and long. What are we doing? You don't have a hot, so your quarterback is getting hit. On the second down and third down, it was quarterbacking. You saw Rush just simply missed the deep route to Dulcich. I know Bree's pulling her hair out right now about that. And then the third play, another play, quarterbacking, right? You have to hit the underneath route. It's simple quarterback stuff. But as we know, Russ isn't a very good underneath thrower or over the middle thrower. That's not his forte. Yeah, I don't know. It's frustrating.
Thanks for pointing that out, Joey, because and I feel really validated by my initial reactions to that Dulcich play because yikes. Zach, take it away.
Yeah, I mean, Joey put it so well. I think people might be hearing my computer getting hot all of a sudden, but from just the fire analysis that Robbie Davis is churning out. Yeah, I just he did such a good job because, like Joey said, he showed there's problems all over the offense. There are plays where you look at it and it's like, Hackett, buddy, what are we doing here, man? Like this doesn't make sense. What are you thinking about? And then there's also things that I think are definitely Russ. I will say the one thing on the Dulcich clip, again, to the point that everything's going wrong on this offense. Russ, Russ just doesn't feel comfortable and it's entirely on Russ. I think that's a fine answer. But he doesn't feel comfortable fully stepping up into that throw because his guard's getting pushed back. I think it's Quinn Miners on that play is getting pushed back and he doesn't have full room to step up and huck it. Still have to take advantage of that opportunity, but yeah, it's a little bit of everything. It's really painful. I also like that we got to see Melvin Gordon highlighted for a good play. That was nice. Not all bad there. I think his veteran presence in the passing game has been a plus, though I do think his snap count has to come down nonetheless. And yeah, I'm just so happy to have that in this show now. If you're listening to the audio version, I think it's still translated because Robbie just does such a good job breaking down those clips, but if you definitely didn't get the full picture no matter what. So head over to the YouTube, head over to the Facebook. If you don't want to deal with the whole podcast and trying to sift through and finding the moments, I know we're uploading those individually to our social medias, the LTB social medias. So go over there and find them. Just an awesome resource with Robbie and Frankie. Go check out their work at Frankie's Film, at Robbie_NFL.
Yeah.
Any additional comments on what you just saw, gentlemen?
I'm frustrated now.
Oh,
just that
ruined your day.
I'm annoyed now. It's like we need to bring back. Should Broncos therapy session be on Thursday now? Like that's. Should we have a Thursday session? I don't know.
Post-film Broncos therapy.
It's frustrating to see this stuff because you are seeing this production because nothing is going right. Like nothing. It's really, really bad. We're not getting production from our O-line. We're not getting production from our head coach. We're not getting production from our quarterback. We're not getting production as our running back. Like all issues, like it's all issues. It's all not looking good right now. And that's a scary thing. Like, man, I was happy to see that Melvin Gordon block. And that's why you want him to be on the field, right? I think that Melvin Gordon, pound for pound, probably is the best running back on this team. The issue is, like, you can't keep him out there when he turns the ball over. You could go through this with every single player on the team, and there's always going to be, like, or on the offense at least, and there's always going to be, but this. And it's annoying. Like, why can't we just figure this out? Why can't I don't know. Why isn't it all clicking? It's frustrating to see. And Robbie did a fantastic fantastic job at showing that. I think that everybody should go follow Robby _ NFL on Twitter. That's where all of his work is. He does work at Predominantly Orange. He writes there. And if you want to see more breakdowns like this, make sure you go show him love for it, because the stuff that him and Frankie are doing on this podcast is unbelievable. It's awesome. I'm happy to have him on here. And it's a cool thing to see. This element to the podcast is fun.
I'm loving it. Thank you so much to them for providing it. The one thing I want to add on the plays is just the margins for the Denver Broncos to win games are huge. It feels slim and it feels like tight margins, but it's really not. Again, 18 points, and this team is 8-1. That is saying, and it's not like the Fangio thing either, where last year, to be fair, the defense was holding opponents to very few points, but there weren't a lot of drives happening in the game. The opponent would get the ball, they'd drive all the way down the field. The Denver defense would get crazy tough in the red zone, hold them to 3 points, and then the Denver offense would run a few plays, pick up a few kind of boring first downs, and then punt and pin the other team back, and then the other team would punt, and then the Broncos would punt, and the other team would get the ball, and a long, slow, meandering drive for a field goal. And there'd be 6 possessions each team for the entire game, which is crazy small. This year, it's just 3 and out, 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 and they're still holding up defensively. It's remarkable. You just need some of these plays on offense to click. You just need some of them on offense. Talk about the Greg Dulcich one. I think multiple things went wrong on that play. Like I just said, if Wilson properly places that ball, it's 17-17, games going to overtime.
Okay.
And those late drives, you can kick a field goal rather than going for the touchdown. You can kick a field goal to win. That's how big the margins are. And there's 17 of those plays every game where it's just if you hit this, you bail your defense out. And you don't have to go 17 for 17. You don't have to go 8 for 17. You got to go 1 for 17. And they can't do it.
I have one thing to say here. I'm using one of my Fangio points from our thing earlier. I'm using it. It has to be said. It's always a Fangio butt, and it's driving me insane. I don't know if I'm just feeling fired up because of Robby and Frankie's little film thing right now. We wouldn't have an Evero without Fangio. Let it be said. We wouldn't. Evero has done a great job expanding upon it. But Fangio's done it. Fangio's unbelievable. I don't want to hear the butts anymore. I don't want to hear it.
You need people to push the game forward. You don't get to give Fangio credit for the people that came after him's innovations.
Yeah. I don't.
Yeah, who improved upon the phone system and made it any better than it was to begin with?
But we give credit to the first guy. That's all I'm saying.
Now when I pick up my phone nowadays, I don't talk about Alexander Graham Bell. I don't.
This is just, I'm trying to find the defensive stuff right now because I know the Broncos defense. My whole thing is there is a Fangio, but the underlying metrics for the Broncos defense last year say it's a pretty average unit.
This is ridiculous. You're just being ridiculous.
20th in defensive DVOA,
You're being ridiculous.
21st in defensive EPA. And going back to the yards thing, I said they are 20th in yards per drive allowed. That's what I'm talking about. They allowed really long drives frequently.
Zach, keep your stats over there. Keep them over there. Okay,
they allowed the fourth most plays per drive.
Everybody knows
most plays per drive.
The issue with the Broncos was the offense. It had nothing to do with Fangio. Fangio
Generally,
did his job on the
defenses to get off the field when you're allowing the fourth most plays per drive. You are
generational level hating.
Not getting off the field.
It's hate.
All right. Okay. All right. Okay.
I just racked up so many Fangio defense points that I just need Evero to have a top 6 defense now, and that's happening.
Well,
yeah, I would Robby Breakdowns, friend of the podcast, family of the podcast, matter of fact, has some great Fangio points that support me. I recommend everyone to go follow him again at Robby _NFL.
Perfect. I think that's a really great point to make. Joe, you said something about offense, and I don't know where I was going to go with that, but we do, before we get to our favorite part of the day, have a little bit of a message for all of our LTB listeners. we just wanted to tell you a little bit about Signables, a cool new way to display your fanhood in your office, home, or fan cave. Signables are flat footballs with digitally printed signatures on them of your favorite players. That includes Russell Wilson. They're a great gift for your favorite football fan this holiday season. Collect your favorite player or your favorite team and go check out signables.com.
Let's go. Let's go. Everyone go get your signables. Go get your signables. It's a great product, great stocking stuffer. You guys should get it for Christmas. People want those. They're collectible items. You want to collect them all. You want to get them all. That's the main goal there. Because I heard some of these are harder to find than others. So if you find them, like, good luck to you. I think you should definitely get them while the stock is there.
Well, the stock is there. I think the Broncos one gets you hooked. Like, you're a Broncos fan and you're like, let me get that Russell Wilson one. And then you realize that Russell Wilson's the worst of them. And you've got to get the rest. Like, I've got this Russell Wilson one. Why don't I have Kyler Murray or Aaron Rodgers or Joe Burrow? They're all good at football.
It's ridiculous. Go. Exactly. Go get yourself a Aaron Rodgers signables, right? What could have been. That's
Joe Burrow.
Go get
Think
Joe.
about how Cincinnati has quarterbacks.
Who doesn't like Joe Burrow?
Think about how Cincinnati has quarterbacks off the next year. And also, Joe Burrow's a cool customer. Put up Joe Burrow signables in your office. I don't know. Maybe you're a cool customer.
I think you are.
Joey, what's your question of the day?
All right. We're not going to get any like fake horns or anything. Like, damn. All right, thank you. I need a little hype.
Sponsored by Signables.
Joey's question of the day: how many Super Bowl appearances did John Elway make? I think this one's light.
Oh, how many Super Bowl appearances? 5.
5. 5 is
I'm
correct.
not a real Broncos fan. I think I just have to admit it now on the pod live during the segment that, like, I don't know.
To be fair, I was bored in math class for a long time.
All right, Zach, we're about to go through a lining of questions to see how many you can get right. What college was Steve Atwater drafted from?
Florida.
Steve Atwater, Arkansas.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I
mean, they're
that. Why did I
close.
say Florida?
I don't know. Sucks to suck. That's the end of the show, everybody. Tell everybody where you can find your stuff.
Yeah, everybody, go follow me at JR Drafts. Make sure, I'm going to say it again, listen to the Frankie Abbott, Joey Richards Draft Podcast. It starts tomorrow. I'm about to hop on the phone with Frankie here in just a second so we can plan this out. And it's going to be fantastic. I mean, this is the main thing we have to look forward to as Broncos fans right now is the draft. The draft is fun. I love the draft. We're going to be breaking this down. Every position the Broncos need, players at this position, what their needs are. We're going to be taking you all the way through up until the main event. You're not going to want to miss it, so go listen to that for sure.
Yeah, make sure you're supporting that, and then also make sure you're supporting Robby and Frankie and all their film work. My stuff, Zach_Seegers, milehighsports.com. The Frankie and Robby stuff, you have to go find their Twitters at Frankie's Film, at Robby_NFL. The Joey Frankie thing, we keep shouting it out because we want you to check it out. Going to be fairly easy to find. Let's Talk Broncos, any social media. If you listen to Let's Talk Broncos as a podcast, it's just going to show up in your feed. It's nice and easy. If you watch it as a show, wherever you're watching us, just make sure it's on the Let's Talk Broncos channel instead of the Mile High Sports channel, and it'll be right there. Super, super easy. And yeah, I'll be stopping by some for those too. So hope to see you on some Thursdays here. We're now coming at you 6 days a week.
Let's go.
Absolutely fantastic. That's just your cue to sign up, get your notifications, subscribe to all of our channels, and we'll see you here again tomorrow. Have a good night, evening, and good night, Broncos country.